Welcome back to the lab. I'm Chris. I thought in this video, maybe this might help inform with your research when you're doing your own projects. Okay, so we're going to kind of dig deeper into getting some research for what we're trying to build here, and that's a Notes app. And I got this picture here of a black hole because research is like it's the ultimate euphemism when we're asking a friend or someone's asked us when are you going to get on with this project or whatever, and he says, "Oh, I got to do some research, or I got to do more research." Yes, research is good, but there becomes a point where it's just like a big fat black hole and it just sucks you in and you don't get anything done, and it's just a big time waster eventually. And you'll know, or we might go through some issues where we might have too much research. I mean, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves here. The other thing is we're going meta. So yeah, we're going to be digging deep into the uh, what people say about the Notes app, the very tools that we're going to be using. We're going to see what people think about them, and that goes on to the next point. Is like we're not looking for what they say per se, but like basically we're trying to read between the lines. We're looking at what users are trying to do. What they do, what they want, when they're looking at or when they're trying to do certain tasks, very specific tasks. And I'll go through some examples and when we're of what kind of statements or uh, research bits that we're looking for. The research hack that we're looking at is online community platforms. So things like Reddit, Quora. I think this is really good for getting some kind of uh, a thermometer of what users are into, and there's a subreddit for everything. Uh, the other thing we're going to come up to, one of the problems we're going to be coming up to when organizing this stuff is like recording, storing, and making our findings searchable, not just for us, but for anybody who's going to, come at this project. And they're going to see that we've kind of collected some quotes or like recordings or audio recordings of maybe user interviews. Like I'm just using an example. I'm not using user interviews, but I'm going to just uh, for now use online community platforms. But like for anything you record, usually you'd have them in some kind of repository. So we want to make sure that we capture these pieces of research that is relevant. The other thing is, I think that the Atomic Insights framework is really good at kind of outlining what we need to do here, and any insights, which are sort of like conclusions from a collection of sayings from people, or like collection of data that is sort of concluding or kind of giving us a direction like that. I would say like the insights kind of they spur a direction of a thought, or spur the direction of a solution. And there's a really nifty article here by Daniel Pidcock. It was written in 2018, and he in this article he kind of goes through what atomic research is, and they're it's insights about like collected from data, basically. They could be experiments, or their observations, or interviews, or secondary research, which is mostly what we're doing here, and facts, like basically how we found this out. But this atomic research is not connected to the method of collection. They can stand on their own, and that's a really good thing about this. So what are we looking for? We're looking for, cutting through the fluff, getting to the challenges that people have, problems, because that's where the opportunities are. That's where the opportunities are to make our own kind of solution, our own creative spin on the Notes app. And of course, we need some kind of repository or some kind of collection database. Actually, this should have went up here because that point led into this one. But anyways, okay, so the community platforms. We're looking at Reddit. As I said, there's a subreddit for anything, and there are like subreddits for all sorts of products, because like people have ideas, but there's a lot of evangelists for products, and we can glean a lot of insight, I think, from these places. Hacker News. Some of you may be already familiar with this. Maybe you get your news from some of these places. Discord. Things like Obsidian. They do have these. Where are we going here? If you go into this Obsidian homepage, we can see that they do have like a community section, and they have their own Discord chat, and I'm sure it's like that for these other Note apps, as well as Quora. I always found that this very useful, and of course YouTube. You can get a bunch of information when people making reviews. I'm going to post a link to in the description to this article. I think it's a really useful article, and we're going to go in and dive into some of the research, just giving you an example of what we're looking at. Alrighty, okay, so here I already Googled this, and we got something very juicy here. What's bad about Obsidian? Longtime users complain about slow loading times. Now that's a very big thing in UX design, but these are more technical, and we won't get into that right now. So you need zero programming knowledge for Obsidian, zero. I think there's a misconception about because it's modeled after an IDE. Okay, well, fair enough. That's an integrated development environment for programmers. It's like a command palette. Obsidian is the solution. People on the Notion sub are always saying Obsidian is the solution. I've played with it a little, noticed. As a non-coder, much of the functionality will be unavailable to me. Obsidian has like a really extensive community, like huge community that has built plugins for Obsidian that you can add to that, and I think it'll show here like okay, let's go to Notion. All right. No, I want to hang on that point for a little bit. Where did we find that? Conversation here. Okay, here, Obsidian plugins. Let's go here. Okay, your mind is unique. With hundreds of plugins and themes, you can shape Obsidian to fit your way of thinking. So this is a very like interesting product for Notes apps, because like this is kind of really extensive. There's a lot of evangelists for Obsidian, a lot of thought leaders using Obsidian for their knowledge management, personal knowledge management. and they really do have a lot of uh, um, a lot of plugins, a lot of add-ons that you can use. That's how, like, this is how really extensive Obsidian is. And unlike Notion, Obsidian is open source and uses a Markdown text pad. Oh, see, it's even got a computer algebra system, a math pad. I didn't know that. Okay, all right. Okay, so there you get the idea. Um, Always look for uh, like community platforms, uh, and we'll just recap. So dig deep, but don't dig any deeper than you need to. You know, uh, don't look for what users want. You look for what users want to what they want to do. Look for what the goals they're trying to achieve, not for what they want. We want to look at their behavior and kind of read between the lines. Remember that if your research gets unwieldy, you're going to need some kind of repository. Most people do use Notion, but there are other kind of tools out there. But you do have to pay for it. And one of them is Dovetail. But of course, you got to pay for it, and they do have like uh, a free trial, but they don't have like a freemium version like Notion. The other thing is we want to make these research findings searchable, and through these research findings, develop insights. Like we want to develop insights or recommendations, like glimpses of what we can see as a solution. I'm going to go into further detail about that when we get into the analysis phase, and that will be the next video. And we're looking for cut the fluff, get past the fluff, get past the nice gooey things that people say about it and blah blah blah. Get to the challenges, the problems, because that's where you're going to find some juiciness. You're going to find some real kernels of insight if you focus on the problems. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll leave a link of the article in the description.